Hey guys, so we've been working on our console for quite a while, trying to restore it. Most of it is functional, but some of it still doesn't work. So we've been working on the bus matrix, and it's been a work in progress. The main problem with the bus matrix is the switches. See these guys over here, each channel has a row of switches, so you can pretty much assign any channel to any bus you want. These switches are notorious for getting corroded and need to be cleaned. I was thinking of replacing them, but I actually figured out that they clean up really well with a contact cleaner. Right here, this guy right here, CRC contact cleaner, not a sponsor. Works perfectly for all the electronics and all the stuff. Everything that you probably want to use it on in the studio works perfectly. I think it's meant to be used as an automotive contact cleaner, but it works just the same for, you know, all the studio electronics and stuff. Works beautifully on restoring these old switches and corroded contacts and things like that. So that's that. I'm gonna show you a little bit about how we do this, and you know, the process and all that sort of all that sort of stuff. One more thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna turn on our computer, the arch enemy of analog. And it turns out that computers are really good at being signal generators. That's our interface here. That's the Moto A16. Highly recommend. Good stuff. Let's wait until that boots up. We're all booted up, and we use Reaper for everything. Alright, so that's our generator. It's a makeshift contraption made out of DAW and some outputs. Reaper provides you with, you know, all sorts of stuff, anything you need for getting the signals in and out. We're pretty happy with it. We're going to get the output from the generator and feed it into the, right here in the patch bay. We're going to take the output from the converter, which is over here. It says converter on it right there, and put it into the input of the line channel of each channel, and make it go through the routing and the busing matrix so that we can test all of our switches and the signal integrity. We're going to start with the channel 6 here and the channel line in. There's a couple more things that we're going to need to do. We're going to need to switch this console. This particular console is an inline console, so you know, it's got all the foldback circuitry embedded into each channel, so it's got two modes. You have tape mode, that's when you're listening from the tape recorder or whatever's hooked up to the input for the tape recorder, and you have a line mode, is when you're listening from the input. So bus matrix is located on the input, so we're gonna be listening for the input. It's pretty cool. It makes these lights go away. Check this out. So these are the monitor lights, and when you flip the switch, it goes into the line mode. Next thing we're gonna need to do is to assign the bus from the channel. So we're going to assign channel number 6 to all the buses. Here are the bus switches. We also need to press this line button because we're not using a mic input, so that has to be depressed. And then we can test each and individual switch in this bus matrix thing to see if everything works as it should. Just like this. Let's see. Let's get this up to 0. Perfect. 1 and 2 is good. Alright, let's check all the other ones. Let's check 3 and 4. Looking good. 5 and 6 right there. By the way, I'm fitting a 1K tone into the channel. If you're wondering what tone it is, it's just a 1K. 9 and 10. 11, 12. That so far so good. Nah. Pretty stable. Looks like a good contact. Alright, so let's just check all the other ones. Here's our 1K tone. Always there, so that's what's going to all the meters. It's not the most pleasant thing to listen to, so I usually just turn it off, because listening to that all day will drive you insane. So let's see, 13, 14, that's pretty much good. You can exercise the switch a couple of times to make sure that, you know, it's not just bugging out. Although changing the switch would be probably a good idea in the end. 15, 16, 17, 18 is good. 19 and 20. Not getting the 20 now. (21, 22, and 23 and 24). So we got a slight problem with number 20. Not sure why, but it just doesn't want to come on. Most likely we're gonna have to change the switch in this one. I would probably say that we do have to change the switch. So let's mark the number 20 as the one where we unfortunately have to replace the switch. So I went up to channel 12, all the way up to channel 12, and looks like the other side's having some problems. We can try to spray some of those switches and see if they can be revived, or we'll have to replace more. So let's take a look. I was seeing that channel 14 and 13 was having some problems. As you can see, I'm pressing the button and it's acting a little bit funny. It's a little bit erratic. See if spraying that will help, hopefully, to correct these issues. 16 and 17 are completely dead. That's interesting. Let's see if we can revive those. Yeah, they have the same issue. This most likely, or hopefully, would be, you know, be able to fix this by just spraying them, or we'll have to replace the switch. Let's see. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our contact cleaner, not a sponsor. We're gonna pop the cap off the switch, and we're gonna spray the stem. A little bit. And some of that contact cleaner should be able to trickle down the switch and make a difference. Let's see if that helped. So we're going to exercise that switch now. 13 and 14. And see if we can get the contact cleaner to trickle down into the switch and rejuvenate the contacts. I do that for a while, for a little bit. Alright. There we go. Much better. Let's see if we can fix 16 and 17 now. Once again, we're gonna spray them. It's 15, 16. This one right here. And 17, 18. So these two are giving us trouble. Mind you, this is not the ultimate solution for fixing this, but the goal is to see how many switches are salvageable and how many will end up being replaced anyway. We're still having trouble with inconsistency on 15 and 16, so let me mash that button for a bit and see if we can make that go away. Let's see, what, much better. There we go. Alright, and that goes away as the contact cleaner trickles down into the innards of the switch. You know, it pretty much fixes it. But the question is, for how long? Everything should be as reliable as you can get it to be. Alright, so press once. One more time. Alright, so that's that for channel 12. Now I'm going to have to do this to all the other channels. Looks like channel 18 is not sending anything at all. So I suspect a dead bus driver. We're going to have to look at that one and see why is channel 18 not sending anything at all. As you can see, all the lights are on, but nothing is happening. All the meters are dead. Nothing is being sent. For channel 19, I have found something interesting. I was under assumption it was a bad bus driver, but it turned out to be a bad switch. If I jiggle the switch a little bit, just like this, see that? As I'm jiggling the switch, all the odds, all the even ones are coming on, right? That means that the switch is bad and it has to be replaced. Thankfully, I have a donor channel, or even 2 donor channels that I could use to replace that. Number 20, on the other hand, probably actually does have a blown bus driver. Jiggling the switches doesn't really do anything, so let me show you what that looks like. Let's look at the left side, 1 through 12. I am going to jiggle the odd even switch right now. And when I flip to odd, nothing happens. There's no movement, only even. So that means that the switch is probably okay. We can see that with the pan pot. The switch is probably fine, but the chip's probably no good. One side of the bus driver chip is probably fried, so I'm going to have to replace that and see if that makes a difference. And for channel 24, we have a similar situation where we only have the odd channels present and nothing else. We take a look at the right bank over here, see that we mostly have only the odd ones and no even ones. And jiggling the switch doesn't really help. It doesn't really do anything. It doesn't bring out the even ones, so that means that we're gonna have to look at the chip again. We're gonna have to look at the bus driver chip. I hope you guys had some fun. There will be a part 2 to this video. Stay tuned and see you later.